Hey, if you like the show and want to support us, check out patreon.com/numbskulls. With your help, we can make more videos more often. And you get rewards like viewing episodes a week early, an exclusive Discord community, bloopers, and more. For more info, go to patreon.com/numbskulls.
Elves, they're so depressing. Pull yourself together, man.
This is my girlfriend. She knows nothing about Warhammer. I know some things about Warhammer. In this series, I'll be summarizing for her stories and lore from the grimdark world of 40k and fantasy. This episode will be covering the Aeldari, their origins, and their downfall. I'm bound to miss some details or might be completely wrong on some things, so if you'd like to learn more about Aeldari, I was recommended Asurman, Hand of Isurian. From what I heard, it covers a lot of Aeldari culture before the fall. It's really neat, but without further ado, let's get started.
Nope. Okay, sorry. Demon tried to take over.
Oh.
It was fine.
Oh, the demon.
The demon.
We're not talking about demons today.
Aw.
We're talking about other things today.
Aw, but I like demons.
I know, but demons will have something to do with what we talk about today, so don't worry.
Woo.
Back to the 40k.
40
Woo.
of them.
Last time we talked a lot about Warhammer Fantasy
We
while
did.
we talked about Slaanesh, specifically the fantasy elves of Ulthuan.
Othwan.
We're going to course correct a bit back to 40k and talk about the Aeldari,
Aeldari.
also known as space elves.
Space elves. I like regular elves.
Well, these are like elves in space.
So they
this
float
will be
around.
Perfect,
Whoa.
actually. Oh yeah, they look crazy.
They've got the Lelouch hat.
Yeah, they've got wacky armor designs, which we will see as we talk about them.
Oh, okay.
So we're going to go way back. Way back. And we're going to talk about our good old friends, the old ones again. You remember them.
I do. Jax Taylor.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
No, that was the Catan. That was the... These are the guys who were like, hey, Necrons, how you doing? Hey, you've got, like, Omega cancer? Cool. Anyway, we're not going to help you out.
Oh.
And the Necrons were like, oh, we're real mad. And then they started a big war.
Tom Sandoval.
Yes.
Oh.
Oh.
You're a turtle with a mustache.
A turtle?
I don't know. He looks a little like a turtle.
Oh, I based him off a frog. He does kind of look turtley, though.
They're kind of close. Ish.
Ish. So the Aeldari begin with the Old Ones, lifting them up and actually genetically modifying their race to become warriors with potent magical abilities and graceful, deadly combat prowess.
I like magic.
Yes, you're gonna really like this episode.
I like magic a lot. That's me when I
It's
took a
pretty much
black
you,
mage.
yeah.
I was like, I don't know what that sound was, but Flare 6 or whatever I cast all the time.
No, Flare 6, Flare's just Flare. There's no Flare number.
What?
It's just Flare. It's a strong attack.
What's the one that looks like an
this.
eyeball?
That's Despair.
Oh, I'll
I
cast
think.
that. Despair.
There
right
you
now.
go.
What are you going to do?
I guess I'll feel Despair.
Oh, I thought you were going to activate your trap card. Okay, let's move on.
So when the Necrons declared war on the Old Ones with the help of the Catan, the Aeldari actually helped the Old Ones during this war in heaven by using their advanced technology and something called the Webway.
This looks like, okay, we got you on the left. We got Aaron's Attack Titan on the right.
Mm-hmm.
We got the... What on earth? Now that just looks inappropriate.
The gate?
Yeah. The Webway. A
Yeah,
web
that's the
away,
Webway.
a web away, a web away, a web away. In the vortex, the mighty vortex, you'll lose
Oh, we're
your
gonna learn about the
mind
vortex.
tonight. Oh.
No, that's a different vortex. This is a
In
this is a
that
good
vortex, the other vortex.
The Webway is the space between space. Think The Void from Doctor Who meets Wrinkle Through Time. The Old Ones created it for the purposes of faster-than-light travel. It's described as a labyrinth of glowing tunnels, a tapestry that spreads between space.
So they're like wormholes.
Yeah, they're basically like wormholes.
Okay.
And there's like a full like pocket dimension inside there. You step into the Webway, you're in the Webway, you're chilling, right? It's not the warp.
What is the warp then?
The warp is space hell.
So that's like the wrong webway.
The Webway,
There was
you could
3
say, is
webways
like...
to choose from, and y'all fucked up.
We picked the wrong one.
Oh.
The warp is like emotions. It's like a dimension of emotions. The Webway just seems to be the space between space. There's nothing bad about it.
Just a pocket dimension. kind of thing.
It's like a pocket dimension.
Okay,
Yeah.
got it.
Now, once the Aeldari were taught how to use the webway, their empire spread across the stars. And once
Across
the
the
war in heaven
webway.
was over, yes, and the webway, actually. Once the war in heaven was over, the Old Ones and the Catan gone and the Necrons gone to sleep, they reigned over the galaxy as its ruler. This was made even easier for them because they also simply reincarnated when they died.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, their souls would just go to the warp and be like, I'm out, and then just come back.
They're like Asians.
Yeah, they're actually very similar to Asians. They
Oh.
just, they die, they go, their soul goes into the warp, and then they just come back out and they're like, hey, I'm back, what's up?
And in the end, all of this was taken over, not created by, but taken over by an Asian. Sorry, I don't remember how the line goes.
That's not at all how it goes.
So it looks like Zelda got the flight armor, and Link's like, whoa, how'd you get that?
Whoa, dude.
She's like, I
That's
had
crazy,
to
you're
jump
back.
down some flight puzzles and give some guy a charge. He charged me.
Give a cute little guy some balls, and he's like, beep, beep.
Beep boop. Oh, I love the constructs.
Beep, boop, boop.
I want
They're
them to
very good.
I
We
want to
love
wake
the
up and have
constructs.
them be my alarm clock. And then
They have very good sound design.
oh, I love the sound design. Good job, Nintendo. Good job.
So, as the Aeldari ruled over the galaxy, unopposed by all, this caused them to become arrogant and prideful,
Right,
like most elves in fiction.
right.
They lived for centuries, had no need for workers because technology handled everything, and thus began to grow bored. The Aeldari started seeking out new sensations in the pursuit of excess.
Oh no, they're gonna
And
do the
that
one
became
chip
the
challenge.
status quo. After a time, this caused the Aeldari to turn on each other,
Oh.
to seek more extreme ways to fulfill their desires. Acts of murder, sadism, greed. Oh, yeah. It got real bad.
This one is not into it.
No, he's not.
Oh, he's like, when I said a hobby, I meant baking, dude. What the?
Some of their people were not down with what was going on and fled. Some fleeing to inhabit worlds in the far reaches of the galaxy known as the Exodites, and some leaving on gigantic ships known as the Craft Worlds.
Oh, I'm assuming it's very large because
It
just
is
looking
the
at it,
size
it looks.
of continents.
Oh, okay. It looks a bit like another bacterium, like a more complex one, like a
It's
bit of mold.
lot going on.
This is what was causing the issues in Hill House, you know?
So the Aeldari who left on these ships were known as the Aseryani, or Craft World Eldar.
So the webway is how this is all connected to the Spider-Verse.
No.
But it's called the webway.
No.
No, but
No. Bad.
why bad?
No.
What?
No.
Oh,
It's called whatever Miguel calls it.
anyone can be Spider-Man, even the Emperor.
I'm Spider-Man. What if that's it?
The Emperor,
The Emperor of
is
Mankind.
Spider-Man.
It was Spider-Man. It was
Miles
him, guys.
Morales.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. That's not the twist I'm expecting the next movie to take. But anyway.
Meanwhile, the acts of depravity and intense emotions by the Aeldari people, cults purely dedicated to pleasure and pain, torture just out on the streets, just the worst stuff imaginable, eventually culminated and it just gathered up all this emotional energy and it gathered and gathered and gathered and then kaboom,
Oh.
an explosion.
I'm guessing Slanesh is really into this.
It eventually culminated in an explosion
Ooh.
of psychic energy that tore through space. This gigantic warp storm is known as the Eye of Terror. And from the vortex of chaotic energy, a god was born.
Oh.
Slanesh.
Ooh! I know her. That's my bitch.
I know that lady.
I know that lady. We talking about that lady. Oh, yes.
Slanesh was born.
Yes.
Within moments, billions, trillions of Aeldari souls were consumed by the Dark Prince, ripped into the warp to be tortured for all eternity. Even some of the guys who left, the Exodites and the Craft World Eldar, they got eaten too. And the only ones that were able to escape were Aeldari who were as far away as possible or inside the webway when the Eye of Terror opened.
I mean, this doesn't seem that far off from what they were going for, honestly. They're looking for new sensations. Here you go. Here's...
It's one of those unfortunate things where it's like, oh yeah, more. Fuck, go back.
Right.
This was not the intention. And now Slaanesh takes their souls, rips them into the warp, and tortures them forever.
Ain't
It's
nobody
not
got
great.
time for that.
Well, she does.
Fair enough.
The most safe Aeldari were those who had a spirit stone, which is a magical item that
Dropstone.
when an Aeldari dies, their soul goes into it rather than the warp.
Hey.
Yeah. So they have these ancient stones
Okay,
that
'cause I was gonna ask, like, okay, so they're like spirits that jump between bodies, so they're immortal. Can I put them in a rock and break it?
they don't jump between bodies. They just get, like, their soul becomes reincarnated.
Oh, okay.
They die, their soul enters the warp, and then their soul comes back after, like, a baby is born or something.
So if I
However-
get one of these stones and I
Mhm.
break it,
So if you get one of these stones and it has an Aeldari soul in it and you break it, yeah, that's bad because that soul now goes into the warp and that's Slaanesh's now.
uh-oh.
It's not great.
No.
The soul stone is the only thing preventing Slaanesh from consuming their soul when they die. However, they're extremely rare and they have to raid their old homeworlds to get more, which is a problem because now they're crawling with fucking demons.
I see.
Sometimes they take these soul stones and they actually put them, like, in their technology,
Uh-huh.
like their mecha and their tanks,
Oh.
for the spirits to inhabit and help control the pilot.
Oh, cool. It's like Escaflowne.
It's like Pacific Rim, but your
Oh.
partner is a ghost instead of another person.
Oh, that's cool.
It's so cool, right?
I don't.
Also, hey, remember those big craft worlds? The
Yeah, it's like a-
gigantic...
Arts and crafts convention in space.
Yeah, those are also powered by souls of the dead.
Oh, okay.
Most of their tech is actually powered by ghosts, and that's awesome.
I'm gonna be real.
That's super cool.
This is where the economy is going. Like, I already don't
No.
expect to retire, and my soul having to forever work to, like, continue the capitalist machine, like, that just sounds like an inevitability these days.
So, Eldar as far away as possible, they're fine. Eldar who had spirit stones, they're also fine. The Aeldari that were inside the webway,
Yeah.
they're also the people who were, like, really into the pleasure cults and stuff.
Uh-oh.
So they had to come up with a solution. And they noticed, hey, if we double down on the stuff that we've been doing, the sadism and the torture and stuff, Slaanesh leaves us alone.
Oh.
She doesn't actually, like,
Oh, no.
get us.
Oh, no.
So they continue this torture and murder and sadism and so on and so forth. These Aeldari would become known as the Kari, or Dark Eldar.
Oh.
They're dark elves.
Okay. Do they got crazy eyebrows?
They have a lot of armor that just has, like, skinned faces and stuff on them.
This looks
it's
like
crazy.
a reimagining of Misty trying to get her bike back from Ash.
I'll kill you, Ash Ketchum. You better give me my bicycle back, I swear to God.
Oh my god.
Ever since then, the Aeldari race as a whole has been terrified of Slaanesh, even going so far as to not refer to them by name because, to demons, names are a powerful thing. And if the name is said, Slaanesh's attention will be drawn, which is why they primarily call her She Who Thirsts. Currently, all of the Aeldari people are just trying to survive and avoid death by any means necessary.
Aren't we all?
Yeah, but it just sucks that, you know, they're guaranteed if you die and you don't have this funny little stone with you, you're just gonna be tortured forever. And it's really interesting just seeing, kind of like the Necrons, the fall of their empire was their fault.
Right.
Definitely different circumstances, but, you know, the fall of the Aeldari people eventually gave rise to humanity taking over the galaxy, as it currently remains to this day. And that is the origin of the Aeldari people.
Whoa. They should make better decisions.
A lot of people in Warhammer should make better decisions. I agree with this.
Like, they should think about it. Just a little bit longer.
They should think about things for more than maybe 1 second.
Yeah.
if you guys get bored, maybe don't start torturing and killing people just out on the street.
No.
Maybe don't do that. Maybe we can like work toward a common goal. That would be a good idea.
Ooh. Or okay, so do we know how these crystals were created?
From what I looked into, they are sort of religious artifacts.
Okay.
But they're also made of a material that's super duper rare and only comes from their homeworlds.
Unobtainium.
It's unobtainium, and also the thing that sucks the most, there's only a limited number of this resource, which means eventually they're all gonna be gone.
Right. That makes sense.
The Aeldari people are essentially prolonging the inevitable.
Right. I mean, aren't we all?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, true.
Every time we eat, it's just another
You just see a number like a death note, it just gets like a little smaller, and you're like, I should probably worry about that.
Oh, that's scary.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Oh. And there's nothing, like, they can't create, like, a synthetic something that does the same thing?
No.
Okay. So you can't just, like, put them in a thermos.
Yeah, this also becomes a problem with reproduction. Why on earth would you bring a child into a world knowing, like, hey, kid, are you ready to be terrified for the rest of your centuries of life? Cool.
Listen, these are the questions I'm asking as I reach the end of my 20s.
We're gonna be okay.
I don't know, man. So you said that they're reincarnated.
Yeah, their souls used to go into the warp, and then they would come back out, and they'd be like in like a baby or something.
Okay.
But it's like the same soul. Yeah, now when they die and they go into the warp, Slaanesh is like, mine.
Okay.
Mine. Yummy, 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 yummy.
Could you, like, put your soul in a dog?
No, it seems to be a lot of their soul transfers are technology-based. So tanks and ships and mechs and stuff like that.
So
that said, it would be really interesting if, like, an Eldar picked up a gun and be like, this is your grandpa. I'd be like, what? Really?
Well, okay, so are they putting them in these stones and then the stones are hooked up to, like, the ships?
Yeah, they just, like, put the stones in, like, I don't know, like a USB slot or something.
Okay. So it's not like you could, if you don't have a stone, you could just throw
that doesn't seem to be the
into
case.
like a car, and then that slowly, I guess, turns into cars. This could be how the Pixar theory happened.
Don't talk to me about the Pixar theory. I was in those trenches.
Oh, I was there too, man.
Oh, no.
Dark days.
Those were dark times.
Oh. Do we know, like, how... Okay, so some of them, like, flew off to, like, the corners of space, right?
Yeah.
To, like, get away. How, what does that mean? Like, how far do they go? Are there people who
they
just,
went
like...
far enough.
Fly off and then just forever and ever and ever?
So, those were the Exodites. They, like, inhabited worlds, like, as far away as possible.
Okay.
Because they weren't down with, like, the murder and stuff.
Right.
So... They left.
They weren't down, so they
inhabited
got out.
worlds, and only the ones that were the farthest away when the Eye of Terror opened, they were fine. Everybody else in proximity, Slaanesh was born and it was a gigantic AoE, and only those outside of it were fine.
Is this just Hawk Manor? Like, that's why you gotta do the whole avoiding the eye mechanic for the first time.
You gotta avoid Slaanesh's birth.
Yeah, and then like she's summoning like succubi everywhere, and then everybody's like, oh, and then you turn to me, and I'm sitting over there with like my little succubi minion, like,
Everything's fine.
Everything's
wow.
fine. I've
Why
done
did
this
I take
like
so much damage?
6,000 times.
One thing that's interesting with the tabletop stuff is that Aeldari as a whole have been pretty much at the top of tier lists for as long as they've been in the game. In fact, very recently they had like an update to 10th edition,
right?
In which they had to nerf the Aeldari because it was just like, oh, are you fighting Eldar? Cool, they win.
Oh, shit.
Like, they are so fast, and if I remember correctly, comments can correct me if I'm wrong, I'm not too familiar with Aeldari rules. They have a thing where they can move, shoot, or just attack in general, and then move again.
Oh.
Because they're so fast and so nimble and graceful and and elves.
I mean, elves, right? Like, some
Elves,
guys
man.
can't, like, shoot a bow and arrow, and then there's fucking, I'm a skateboard down an elephant while I do a flip.
I'm gonna hop up on these rocks as they're falling, even though that makes no sense. Gravity exists
Not
in
to Legolas.
Middle Earth, Peter. Not for Legolas,
Not
it
for
seems.
Legolas.
It's fine.
It's fine. The world is flat,
He's too hot to die.
and so is gravity.
No, it's only flat for Legolas.
Yeah, I know.
And the other elves.
That's what I'm saying. So is gravity.
What do your elf eyes see? Sees like the
lot.
edge of the world. I see a lot,
I'm
man.
entirely overstimulated.
Oh, all the time.
All the time.
Man, Tolkien's writing is weird when you start looking into it. When you start looking like into the like specifics of like, what do you mean there's no pumpkins in Middle Earth, Tolkien? What do you mean?
Yeah, bro drew the line at Halloween, I guess.
He drew the line at Halloween, and he drew the line
Ain't
that
no
like
Ichabod Crane in my...
there will be no headless horseman. Get out of here. I don't mess with that
I can
stuff.
think of
That's
a few
some bad
horsemen who
karma.
ended up headless in that.
That's fair.
Mouth of Sauron being one of them.
Yeah, but only in the extended edition. You have to watch that.
Okay, well, you should.
You should. It's great. It's fantastic.
If you haven't watched it, you've done it wrong. Fix it.
You have to fix it right now.
Commit a 12-hour period of your life.
Finish this video and then go watch all 3 extended editions as a marathon. Make a day of it. You deserve it.
Oh, you really do.
You really do.
Get yourself a snack.
Treat yourself. Get
Maybe
some
a bottle
snacks,
of
some wine.
Ooh. Cuddle up with your
Ooh.
like favorite pillow and plushie and stuff.
Yeah.
Make sure
Make a
there's
day
somebody
of it.
in the
You deserve
room
it.
so that you can tell them about the broken toe.
Babe, we have to win that bid so that we can watch Two Towers with Viggo Mortensen.
That is not why I want to watch Two Towers with Viggo Mortensen. I would completely forget the entire time. I'd just be like crying with respect as an actor. I'd be like, oh my god,
No,
he's so beautiful.
I need to tell him that Aragorn actually broke his foot. He broke his toe in that scene, and then it says that he will act shocked, and I need to see it. I need this.
How much is he being paid?
Oh,
for that one moment of acting.
Thousands. Anyway, Aeldari.
Aeldari.
Yeah, maybe they shouldn't have murder fucked a god into existence. That's probably not a good idea.
Generally, that's when you've gone a little too far.
It's what causes a thing to not really go too great.
So before...
Oh, I guess I can mention...
wait, hold on. What? So they're like torturing each other and sexing each other up and shit, and then, Slaanesh is like, ooh, into existence.
Mm-hmm, right.
How? Because that would implicate that they are doing all these things before Slaanesh exists. But these things are caused by Slaanesh.
So, let me explain it like this. These emotions did exist. Slaanesh as a consciousness was birthed into existence when this happened. And only when the Aeldari started getting real extreme with it, and because there were so many Aeldari everywhere,
right,
that's what caused Slaanesh, blinks into consciousness, wakes up, and her first breath is inhaling trillions of Aeldari souls just right into her tummy. And she loves that. Delicious.
So, Slaanesh didn't exist before the Necrons went to sleep.
She did not exist as a god before the Necrons went to sleep. Yes, that is correct.
Interesting.
Yes.
Are there any other of them that we know of their, origin moment?
Not particularly.
Oh.
Like I said, it gets all wibbly-wobbly, timey-wimey, because the warp time doesn't really exist, so... Slaanesh, one could say Slaanesh always existed, and so on and so forth, and it's weird and doesn't make sense, and it depends on the writer and blah, 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 blah.
Right.
But it would be interesting to see, the exact moment that these gods
I don't want to
gleaned
think about
consciousness
what brought
Slaanesh.
Khorne into it. That was probably a bad day.
2 bacteria just one just ate the other one because it just didn't like how it looked, and it was he just instantly ah!
Yeah, pretty much.
I am here! Nurgle, someone just coughs.
Oh no.
Someone coughs, and then he's just I'm here.
Hello?
I'm ready.
He's sleeping, and then somebody calls, what?
Tzeentch, I guess?
The first lie?
Since magic existed?
Oh.
Or the first time somebody said, I have an idea?
Oh, no. That's me in Tears of the Kingdom. It never goes well.
We have to construct the doohickey.
The doohickey, the device.
The thingamajig.
How many Gleeoks can I take out without actually touching them?
What do you mean? You fought an army of Lionels that got progressively harder and you never attacked one of them. What do you mean?
I mean, I have lasers.
I have an orbital laser ready to fire right now, Mr. President. Just give me the order.
I mean, screw the order. I do what I want.
Oh, I should mention.
Yeah.
The Aeldari had their own set of gods.
Oh, okay.
There were, I believe, 7. And the moment Slaanesh was born, there were 2 because she killed the others.
Oh, talk about taking over.
One of which is Cain, the Aeldari god of war.
Oh, okay. Corn and Cain.
Who apparently, I don't know if this is true, but I heard a rumor.
Right.
I read a thing.
You read a thing.
That stated when Slaanesh was about to kill Cain, the god of war, Khorne stepped in and said, no, he's mine.
Oh.
And Slaanesh and Khorne fought over him.
Oh.
Which, if we want to think about the Chaos Gods in a linear sense without the timey-wimey stuff, that would be interesting to think if that was Khorne and Slaanesh's first interaction with each other.
Uh-huh.
That'd be really cool. Be like, hey, by the way, I'm your big brother. Kablam.
Hey, by the way, I'm your big brother. This guy's a lot like me, so he's mine.
I like him. I like his vibe.
Let's vibe.
You can actually, on tabletop and in a lot of Warhammer games, you can actually summon the avatar of Cain, which is just this giant burning entity that will just slaughter everything in front of it.
Oh.
And apparently the process to actually do that is really complicated and really messed up. Like, they have to choose somebody to be sacrificed, and it's like a whole process. It's crazy.
The paperwork, though.
The paperwork that goes into summoning an avatar of our god.
Ugh.
Well, apparently it is because he just clears battlefields. It's just like gone.
Fair enough.
The other god that survived, I don't know his name at the top of my head, but I think his title is vastly more interesting. He's known as the Laughing God.
Oh.
And the people that are really down with him are a very, very small subfaction of Aeldari known as the Harlequins.
Oh.
Who travel in troops and have the most annoying paint scheme known to man.
Oh, that's fair.
Yeah, they have diamond checkers.
Oh.
Not great.
No, that's annoying.
But their vibes, really cool. I would like to do maybe an episode just talking about the subfactions of the Eldar because a lot of them are really fascinating.
Fair.
Eventually, mankind and Eldar would meet, in which case we will meet our big titty, Eldar GF.
Oh my god.
Yvraine,
Oh.
but we have quite a bit of time before we talk about her.
Oh.
Unfortunately, I'm sorry, baby.
I'm all excited.
I'm sorry, but I have to bait you for the next episode. We have to get to it. There's still a lot of ground to cover before we get to humanity and Eldar talking and not shooting at each other.
In space. There's no ground. That's the whole thing with space.
Any other questions, thoughts?
Do you think this is all gonna have a happy ending?
A special thank you to our top patrons, Ton of Ashman, Andrew Welsh, Armor Note, Christian Hardcastle, Julio Berseno, Max Henderson 273, Mike's Forging, Nathan Bond, Nura Benanica, Sean Martin, Animation Creation, Draconic Hermit, Fago 1234, Georgi, Jacob Smith, John Smith, Nick Stilson, Najila Yakubu, Pablo Hernandez, Samuel Miller, the last survivor of the 423rd Royal Battlemech Division, and Zogo Bainavolat. If you'd like to support these videos and get a special shout out, please check out our Patreon in the description. Also, leaving a like and subscribing helps a lot more than you would think. Anyways, have a great week, everybody. We'll see you next time. These emotions did exist. What are you doing?
Oh, no, it's the song
okay?
with Mariah Carey. She's like, you got me feeling emotions.
Oh.
And then she's
Oh,
like...
That's not... We can't add that. No, don't do that!